He's got not only an eye for keeping home safe and secure, he's got an eye for photography as well. And no matter if it's the majesty of wildlife in their natural habitat or the nostalgic scenes of our local beaches and coastal landscapes, every moment captured comes from the heart.
And you've probably seen some of those moments here on DelmarvaLife. And he's here to share a little bit more about his talent and technique with us this afternoon. We're back again with the photographer, Kevin Lynam, and we're switching gears to a passion project he enjoys in his spare time. Thanks again for sticking around, and thank you for letting us use a lot of your pictures, your photographs.
Thank you, Lisa.
Showing off Delmarva. So I got to ask you an obvious question. How did you get started in photography?
To be honest, it was there was a bald eagle in my backyard, and at that point in time, I had a cell phone camera. So I was completely in awe of this gorgeous, majestic bald eagle. And I went to take a photograph on my cell phone and just was really sad with the output from the cell phone camera. Not to take digs at smartphones, but it kind of that day, I guess you could say, ignited a fire for me. So that afternoon I went and bought my first camera, and that was about 6 years ago. And admittedly, I've kind of always been a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to most aspects of my life, but so when I got into photography, I was seeking out other local area artists that were really talented that I could do photo walks and expeditions with. And I think that really helped kind of, help my learning curve speed up. I think for me, what's really been the draw of photography is the adventure.
Sure.
We live in such an iconic and scenic area that I tell anybody, if you live here, on the Delmarva Peninsula, if you're not spending 20% of your time outdoors, you're missing out. Right. Because we live in an area that just has so much to offer visually in terms of stunning sunrises and sunsets, incredible wildlife from foxes to sika deer to snowy owls occasionally. And really, I think the cool thing about photography is it helps you be present in a moment. And I'm a mile-a-minute guy, so to have a passion project, that's an excellent way of putting it earlier, Lisa. It's very much that for me, and it's my way of decompressing, and it's my way of enjoying life.
Yeah.
So for photographers who are, spending time outdoors, do you have any tips for them?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, don't be afraid to ask other photographers for help. And those individuals that aren't willing to help, they clearly aren't the right mentor for you. There are plenty of artists that do. I believe in becoming a member of local artist collaboratives. I live over near Rehoboth Beach. I'm a member of the Developing Artist Collaboration and the Rehoboth Art League. So joining some of these artist groups kind of expose you to other disciplines of art. Photography wise, I tell everybody what I shoot on. I shoot on a Canon R5 camera. It's a 45 megapixel camera that allows me to take an image and essentially make a billboard out of it if I have to. That may be overkill for many, right? But what I can tell you, a great place to start photography wise, used equipment, doing photo walks with friends. In terms of settings, what I tell people, if you want to freeze action, that means, you need faster shutter speeds. If you want that more, dreamy kind of look, sometimes that slow exposure that'll show, intentional camera movements or, make things look more flowy and smooth. So when it comes to photography, I really, above all else, lead with your heart because, I tell people all the time, so much of photography is not just about what you see. A great composition is the sound of the ocean that morning. It's the feelings in your heart. It's, the sand beneath your feet, and once you can kind of become entrenched in the environment you're in, you start to, to make beautiful compositions. A camera's no different than a musical instrument. Once you're shooting in auto, you're kind of learning some of the chords. When you start to shoot in manual and you start to adjust those camera settings, be it the shutter speed or the ISO of the camera, now you're making music. And just like a musical instrument, if you want to be great at it, you have to practice.
Yes.
Because the skill does fall off. So go out and have an adventure and take lots of pictures.
Take lots of pictures, which
Amen.
is what you do. And it is an adventure. Anything real quickly that you've done recently? Any adventures you've gone on?
So I can proudly say that I recently captured a snowy owl. It was not without a lot of personal punishment because the day involved approximately a 15-mile hike, about 10 of which was over loose sand. So while I did see the snowy owl and a dear friend of mine, I was able to help him capture his first snowy owl image. I paid for it the next day. I wasn't moving too well the day after.
But it was all worth it, wasn't
Absolutely, Lisa. Absolutely.
Kevin, it's always good to have you in here, whether you're talking about keeping our home safe or photography, and thank you. And take more pictures for us, will you?
Absolutely, Lisa.
Thank you so
Steve,
much.
thank you.